grew up poor, abused, fighting, betrayal. Most of my friends are dead or in jail from high school. I sold a bunch of drugs, got arrested, got thrown out of college. When I finally graduated, I had a felony, 2 felonies, and I would lie and say, oh, I don't have any felonies. And every time I get called in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get fired.
So what was that turning point?
Turning point was when I went to jail. I got sentenced to a year in jail. When you walk into a cell and you've lost your privilege of freedom, you make changes. That was a wake-up call. I will never do this again. That's the thing holding you back. Just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean it's okay. You overcame it, I overcame it, so can you.
Let's give a little context on who you are and what you do. So Kelly Siegel.
Yeah, my name is Kelly Siegel. I grew up here in Michigan. I grew up at 8 Mile and Van Dyke. I went to high school with Eminem. I grew up 2 streets from his baby mama that he's always rapping about. I got home videos of hanging out with him. We grew up poor, abused, fighting, betrayal. And when you grow up that way, your head gets twisted. So most of my friends are dead or in jail from high school. I got out, went to college. I wish I would have done it correctly. I sold a bunch of drugs, got arrested, got thrown out of college. I was good at sales from the very beginning. I realized that. So through some twists and turns, I just kept creating my own adversity. And then when I finally graduated, I had a felony, 2 felonies. So I started selling, and I would lie. Luckily, this was 1998. So I could lie, and there was no internet. There was internet, but it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, different time.
So you could lie and say, oh, I don't have any felonies. And every time I get called in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. So I learned I was really good at sales. Turns out scarcity and fear, which I had no clue I had, is one hell of a motivator.
So I assume you're not a drug dealer or breaking the law now, right? So
you know what? No.
So what was that? Because there's usually like a turning point. You know what I'm saying?
The turning point is when I went to jail. Okay. I got sentenced to a year in jail. I had to do 4 months. When you walk into a cell and you've lost your privilege of freedom, you make changes. That was a wake-up call where you can't leave when you want to leave. And I'm like, I will never do this again. So some twists and turns. I got a job. I realized I liked selling. I was at an event like this where it just happenstance. I showed up at a golf outing, met a guy. He's like, you're too good to work for a company. I'm going to help you start a company. And he did. And that was my first company.
What was that company?
It was called Kelly Communications. Okay. And I was a broker of telecom services. So AT&T was broken up, which is weird.
Sounds familiar.
Which is weird right now. If you think about it, you're thinking of Kelly Services.
That's what it is. Yep.
So it was Kelly Communications, and me thinking real hard about what my name's going to be. I built it to millions of dollars without having a website, and I like it. Realized I liked being an owner, and I thought I wasn't a good visionary, which is what everybody's hearing. Everything I thoughts are magical lies. That's the best business advice I can say to you. Whatever you think is probably wrong, check it. Look in, and if it keeps holding you back, that's your portal to your breakthrough. So, long story short, I own an IT cybersecurity company now. I have a podcast that's growing called Harder Than Life, and all I do is sit here and I share stories with people about how they overcame adversity, and everybody does it a little bit different. Me, I did a bunch of therapy after I did years and years and years of partying, and was very, very successful. And just one day I woke up on the beach and went, I'm just gonna see how life is without alcohol. I grew up, that's all we did. Drink and smoke weed. And I was very successful at it. I like to tell people I went pro and retired early. And when I decided to do that, I just said, I'm gonna do 90 days. I'm gonna take 90 days off. I felt so good on day 91. I'm like, I'm just going to do another 90. And then it was the 4th of July was my second 90 or my second 90. And I was like, I got on a boat. Everybody was drinking and I was going to drink. And I looked and I said, my heart started racing. And I feel like God just said, nope, get off the boat. And I said, guys, I'm out. And I left. And at that moment I said, I'm never drinking again. And then the real work started. Because when you're drinking, even if it's just casual, you're numbing the good things too.
100%, dude.
When I did that, my whole world changed. And then I wrote my Heart and Life book. When you try to up level the adversary, devil, or whatever it is, whoever's face tries to stop you. And that's what being harder than life is. Life's going to throw things at you, and you just got to persevere and keep going through it. Now, I've reached such a high level that it's the opposite. I have to surrender and let my team, let people like you help me, let Dillon, let this studio, and let go, let God. And then the next, and what do you know? Everything. The podcast is blowing up. Our AI, IT, cybersecurity. I have to throw in the AI because we're leveraging so much AI right now.
No, the same thing in our industry.
Yeah, we actually got a little thing that we do for marketing because most marketing companies, not yours, or we're just not delivering results. Yeah. So we built our own engine.
It's awesome,
and it works. But boy, was that difficult. That was swimming upstream, telling IT guys they got to build a marketing engine. They're like, what is it? And the hardest part, the creative.
Yeah, but
we sat back and life happens for you. It really is conspiring. And I'm telling you, my friend, we say you only live once. That's so wrong. You only die once. You live every day. So why not wake up every single day and prime your life? Today's going to be a good day. I did it this morning, and I got to meet you and everybody else here, and it's freaking awesome. And that's the way my life is. I live my life happier than life. I love that, after going through harder than.
When did the sobriety journey start?
Unfortunately, I know the exact date, and I didn't mean to. I did it on New Year's Day. So I was in Key West, Florida. I cheersed a drag queen, because have you ever been to Key West for New Year's? They have this drag queen named Sushi who goes down this silhouette. She sits in a silhouette, and the silhouette drops instead of a ball, it's a high heel. Stiletto. So I cheers the drag queen, took my last drink, set it down, and thought I was just going to pick it back up in 90 days. That was, funny story, January 1st, 2019. If you do, it's 119.
Cool.
So 911, like it's time. 911 in reverse. So I'm, unfortunately, I can remember it since I did it that day, is 7 years.
Okay.
And once I healed it, so alcohol and drugs are the symptom. The disease is unhealed childhood trauma, usually. Something in your childhood. And for me, it was feeling unworthy, unloved. And I just recently figured out a lot of shame. For me, I'm the one that made it out. There's a lot of my friends that didn't. And there was a lot of shame. The way that I was raised, our house, our upbringing, we were poor, around welfare. You didn't want people to know, even though we were all from the same neighborhood. But I always knew that if somebody knew how bad it was, they would take me. Now, I wish they would have, because it was bad. And it took many, many years for me to look in the mirror and realize how bad it was. I just sugarcoated it. Yeah, I was abused, but it wasn't that bad. It was. And when I went in there and said how bad it was, I healed myself. And it allowed me to unlock who I really am. Who I am is a love bear. And I just want to love everybody and help everybody. And I see this utopian world of we all get along. It's really easy. You got the right, you got the left. And all we focus on what we don't agree on. Start with what you agree on and work out from there. We agree on a lot more things than we think. But social media,
it makes it seem like we don't. Yeah, it's wild. So
I'll give you one for instance.
You could talk with like 100 people, you're going to agree on almost the same shit.
So the weirdest thing about it is they were posting during the DHS shutdown, like all these lines were long for security. I was flying all over the country doing speaking engagements. None of that. There were 2 airports. It was Houston.
Oh, really? It was all just not really happening?
Because they wanted you to think that the government was messing you up, and it was not true. So don't believe everything you think and none of what you see on social media. Because, by the way, life is like an algorithm. If you click on something, it shows you more. Yeah. If you know what you pay attention to, what you take in, life's going to give you more.
You buy a new car. You get an Audi SQ7. Everyone's driving an SQ. It's like serious.
That's like a reticular activating system.
Like whatever
But life is like that. So I was a huge partier. And I'd hang around a bunch of partiers. Now I'm a huge personal development guy. I'm a huge business guy. I like to talk about big things in the world. Now all I'm surrounded by is thought leaders.
Awesome,
if you drink and you're partying, you yourself will excavate from me. And I hate that because I'm not here to judge. I've been there and I want to help everybody.
Yeah, we have a same situation basically as you, but been sober 10 years.
Really?
So, I mean, we could talk about
You're
this
just
shit.
a young man.
Yeah, I'm 36.
Well, why did you drink?
Well, prior to drinking, addicted to heroin, 18 years old.
My dad died of heroin, so
Sorry to hear that.
So proud of you.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate
and I'm
it.
so, you know what? I'm grateful you're here.
Yeah.
And this, when we were talking, I just said there was a reason.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody's got to hear this because, by the way, yours was heroin, mine was booze and weed. Somebody else's prescription drugs. Someone else could be Netflix and chill. Somebody else could be just scrolling. Somebody could be porn. I can't believe how many people are addicted to porn.
We start talking about it too.
So it is a crutch. I say this because if you're talking about that's the thing holding you back. And that's your portal to go. And it's just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean it's okay. You overcame it. I overcame it. So can you.
Yeah. It just becomes part of your identity.
Did you just not think that you were enough?
No. Started smoking pot like everyone else at 14, 15, and it just progressed, dude. So the reason I started actually doing opiates was my parents knew I was smoking pot, so they drug test me. So I'm like, what's not on the 5 panel? So they're like, they'd get different tests. So I'd like maneuver. And then, I found opiates. And I remember the day I was taking like a ton of Vicodin every single day. I'm not a big guy, but like I was way smaller. I was like 130 pounds soaking wet, taking, 10,000 milligrams of Vicodin in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
could you go to the bathroom? Could you even go to the bathroom?
Not really, no. Like once a week. You know what I mean?
Just so you guys know that it's a constant.
So I would I remember the day I couldn't get them, and I started going into physical. Like I couldn't get them. I started panicking. Went into physical withdrawal. I said, "Fuck, I'm a drug addict." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm literally a drug addict.
That realization.
This is my life, dude. And that progressed and spiraled out of control. Got in trouble with the cops. Right.
That usually what happens. That's the first sign.
So I went to I go to treatment. Like I'm not really like I don't really want to go, but like it's like this or you live on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Right. And actually, I had a God moment. So I was busting tables in Andiamo. My dad was the general manager and part owner of the downtown Rochester one. Right? He had like a small piece, and I was working there. And 3 days prior, they found out I'm like doing dope. So like, you got to figure your life out. Like you're gonna be out of the house in a week. And I remember something overcame me, dude, and it was like, go talk to your dad. So I went in the office. I was like, send me to treatment. So they figured it out. They called my aunt lives in California. She knew when the lady who was head of admissions for a treatment center that was government funded, she fibbed the paperwork, said I was a California resident, and they shipped me down there. And it was like it was a rough treatment center in a way, right?
28 days?
7 months.
Holy smokes.
Inpatient.
Okay.
So 2 weeks of detox and like 6 months of like treatment, right?
Heavy.
And I'm there for like a month. And I'm talking about leaving with guys that I'm meeting there, right? Like, hey, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, they can't keep us. We're not prisoners, My mom calls me. She goes, you just got served this, and this, right? And I'm like, what? So it actually worked out in my favor because I was able to show the court system that I was going to get help prior to getting in trouble, right? Like they were building a case on me or whatever. But yeah, man, I wasn't like really spiritual or religious or anything. And I prayed that night, and it wasn't like, get me out of trouble type of thing. But it was like, I was like, the only way I stand a chance is if you take this compulsion away to use, right? Cause I'm going to fucking leave. Prayed, boom, lifted. You know what I mean? And it's been a lot of work since then and multiple failures. Like that was 18 years ago. So I never touched that stuff again. The drinking and all that, it's all the same stuff. That's what I'm saying. It like literally is all the same stuff, right?
It's escapism.
So why did I do it? I don't know, man. Learned it at a young age, genetically dispositioned probably to have a very addictive personality as well. I believe that we all have a God-shaped hole in us and we try to fill it with other things.
Right.
And until you fill it with God, you're
God's source, energy.
That's it, dude, right? Whatever you want to call it.
I will tell you, if you're not a believer, and I'm not religious, but I believe in God. I should say I'm religious. I'm Jewish, but
You're spiritual, probably,
I'm
right?
spiritual.
Yeah, same thing.
I will tell you this much. If you're listening to this show, I would tell you, have a specific ask of God, a very specific. I'll tell you, I just had a conversation with God because I just did a lot of changes and I was very uneasy. I got rid of 2 people that were very close to me in the last week. And I said, God, I'm really uneasy on this, but I'm gonna follow through and surrender. Just give me a sign. And I asked, this is gonna sound crazy. I'm gonna tell you it anyways. I said, give me a sign. We're growing the podcast. And all I'm focused on right now is our YouTube subscribers, because we're trying to get that up to 100,000 and then millions. And I said, send me 1,000 YouTube subscribers if you're listening to me. That was 2 days ago. We've got 500, and we usually do 30 a day.
Sick. And
it just went like this. So by the time this airs, we'll have had 1,000, and it's going to continue to go. And I'm telling you, specific ask, not give me $1 million. Be reasonable. Sure, but ask for a sign. Say, help me out of this treatment center. Help me make a decision on this girlfriend, boyfriend. Be specific. And I'm telling you, it will come. Even if you don't believe in God, it's an energetic. We're energy. And that by putting that positivity out into the world, it will come back to you. That's why when we're doing bad things always happen. Yep. Because that's what you're putting out.
What you're putting out.
It comes right back. It's a karmic law, man. It's a double slit theory. I'm telling you, it's real as can be. And man, you can create that. What's cool about that is if you can create bad, you can create really good. And there's no cap on it. I'm watching myself. I woke up and I said, man, this should be a crime to feel as good as I do right now. Mm-hmm. But it took a lot of work. I mean, there's been a lot of nights that I thought I was having fun, wasted off my mind with people that don't give a crap about me, with women that I couldn't care less about. And I'd look in the mirror and I'd be blotchy skin. Like, what is this? And then I hear this from all the other people. And people listen, well, I only have 1 or 2. If you have to explain how much you drink, you're drinking too much. And I'm telling you right now, drinking 1 is too much. So look at all the studies right now. It's poison. Why would you poison yourself? I never went to AA. I just quit cold turkey. And then I kind of did my own 12-step program and I figured out why I drank. So I could probably have 1. I've had friends, why don't you just have 1? And I thought about it. I said, why? I feel so good. I used to drink because I was so low, it would bring me back to base level. Well, now I'm so high, it's only going to bring me down. Why would I do that? So it's just a no for me, dog. And I'm telling you, if you're having 1, what is it, a celebration? Oh, it just helps me relax. I can relax just like that.
Yeah, I think it's learned too.
Nice breathe and just hand it to you.
For sure, man. Yeah.
That's it. I can manufacture that same feeling 3 seconds.
It'd be like you said, you have to learn how to have fun again, right? Yeah. That was like a thing, dude.
Well, I'd suppressed in the childhood trauma and the beatings, and I'm talking beatings. My stepfather was a big guy. That's why I'm big, because I wanted to beat him. And I had suppressed joy. There was no joy. There was survive. So when you go 16 years, from 0 to 16, and it's constant survival, that's all you know. And I took that for another, 35 years until I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then it's just wild how life opens up. But that's survival, man. And I just the only reason I can talk about this is yesterday I'm doing this integrated family systems therapy. It's insane. It's the hardest therapy I've ever done. And I have been turned around, not knowing and what happens is you end up releasing all these emotions. So I had anxiety, massive anxiety for 15 days because I literally was in such fear when I was a child that I wouldn't allow myself to be scared. So I pushed out all fear, all anxiety, and all joy because I was scared. Pushed it so down that I didn't even know what it is. So I wouldn't let myself feel fear or anxious or joy. I allow my fear to come. I'm scared. I get scared. Anxiety, 15 straight days. It sucked. And remind you, I won't take Xanax. I just sat in it. And it sucked. So for 15 days, you think you're on all day long. The only time I felt normal is if things hit the fan at work. And we run a pretty tight ship, so they very rarely do. So the only way I could get out of the anxiety is trying to create chaos. So I wouldn't even need that. It would just create so much busy work that the anxiety would just blend right in. But after 15 days, I had to go do a speaking engagement, and it just went away just like that. And it was funny because I was praying to God on an airplane. We were going through an absolute terrible, terrible storm. I took a video of it. And we were flying around and through thunderstorms. And I've flown a lot, and you could see the lightning. And I'm like, what is going on? We're flying to Salt Lake, and it's normally a 4-hour flight, 5.5 hours. We're getting bounced around. And normally I'm a nervous flyer, and I just sat there and I had a conversation with God the entire way. And I said, and he's like, I'm going to scare the hell out of you. And this is going to be the end. In the morning, I woke up. All the anxiety was gone. I gave it the best speech of my life, and away I go. And I have those conversations with God all the time, and he usually delivers. And he has a funny sense of humor because he delivers in his way and his time. And all I tell you is surrender, surrender, surrender. Because what you think we're under control, we try to control everything when you're drinking and drugged. I used to say, "Oh, I've got it all together. I'm scanning the room. I know everything. I'm on when I'm drinking." Jesus, I'm on now. But you know what I know? I know that I'm good, and I trust me, and that you cannot do, high or drunk or with some sort of shame over your head. And that's what it is. You're masking shame.
So you have three, you said you're working on one more book right now?
Yeah, I wrote Harder Than Life during the pandemic.
What's that about?
It's really a memoir, but it's about how I started my company.
Okay.
I talk about my upbringing. I tell this story. I tell all the outrageous things. So the book opens that I used to have to empty a jar of piss. My stepfather was such a drunk, and my mom was such a drunk. They slept in separate rooms because she would come home and try to fight him. One time she caught the house on fire. She stabbed him. He had to get 18 stitches in his arm. So they slept separately when they drank, which was every night, and he would lock himself in his room. And my job in the morning was to empty, and he would pee in a jar because he didn't want to come out and get stabbed. So my job was to empty a jar of piss and then make his bed and wash his clothes. This is my stepdad as a kid. So, and if I forgot to do it, he'd open it and throw it on my bed. So it would create more work for me. So what did I do? I leveraged every one of these tools that he gave me, these lessons, into building a multi-million-dollar business. So you think something's not working for you, it's actually working for you. This body, I walk on stage, first thing. When I walked in here today, all you guys were like, boy, who is this guy? And the other guy just asked me if I was his freaking bodyguard. It now opens doors for me. And this was to protect me from my stepfather's beatings. So it does work out for you. It just may be longer term. So Harder Than Life, I tell all about that. And I take it all the way up to the pandemic. I'm like, we're currently in a global pandemic. I'm going through a lawsuit. God really, it wasn't God, it was the adversary testing me to see if I was going to stay not drinking. 15 months into my sobriety, I got the global pandemic hit. I broke up with my then fiance. She partnered with my ex-wife to take my kid away. You know, and it's like the stress was one thing after another, like 3 things. And I looked over at my alcohol. I still keep alcohol in all my places. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have a scotch. And then I went, no, I'm not. God spoke to me at that very moment and said, do not drink. And I looked up and I went, what are you doing to me? What is this lesson? And I grabbed a cigar and I went for a long drive. And, you know, this was March 20th, 2020. Mm-hmm. So everybody remembers that day. Yep. Here's where they shut down the whole world. Michigan was one of the last places to shut down. And it happened right then and there. And that's when I decided to start Harder Than Life right then and there. And I said, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to freaking use all this time to build a body, write a book. And I just executed. And then a couple of years later, I was like, I need to follow up to that because I healed so much that I didn't, even by the time that book got out, it was like not me anymore. So then I wrote Happier Than Life, and I should have wrote Healthier Than Life, but that's the next book. I'm just here having fun, man, living my life.
awesome.
Paying it forward, enjoying meeting people like you. And when you heal and you do the work, the sky's the limit. And then you can be happier than life. But the thing that you're avoiding, that we all know what it is where is the portal to your next level. So whatever you know you need to quit doing, lean into that and feel it. Feeling is healing, but you can't heal what you are unwilling to reveal. For me, I would have fought you if you said I was shameful. I didn't know what that was. I'm like, no,
I'm not a coward.
I was like,
whatever.
And how am I fearful? I've survived hell. I mean, when my parents walked in, I didn't know, am I getting happy drunk? Am I getting, beating drunk? And the funny thing about it is when they do both on you, they'd start off happy and then they'd start wailing on you. Like, you don't learn to trust anything or anybody or any situation. You're always on thing. Made me a hell of a salesperson because I could read a room so fast. It was so good. But, I say that from a completely healed, I'm healed enough to know that I'm going to continue doing this. And we're going to take that podcast to number one. We're going for Joe Rogan. I know it's crazy.
So that's your main focus right now, podcast?
Well, we're writing a bunch of AI, IT, and we're going to automate that and make it really mainstream and take that national. That they're both exploding at the same time. So it's.
The whole Skyglass or the initiative right now with Claude.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Is Opus or
well they just released an AI tech that they claim the security. It's such a good AI security tool that they won't release it to the public.
Oh, this is the yeah.
I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I just read about it yesterday. It's actually not even it's coding. It's
like so advanced that they don't want to release it to the public because hackers could take it and take down Microsoft. Basically,
yeah, it's going to be what's about to come is just insane.
Sweet. It's sweet.
It is. This is an opportunity. AI is not coming to replace you. It's coming to enhance us.
In a very long time. Huge opportunity.
Whatever you are, it'll make you more of it. Yep. It's kind of like alcohol. Like if you're an
use it for good
and you drink, you're gonna be a bigger asshole. But if you're fun and happy, it's gonna make you fun and happy.
Yeah.
But I really am concerned about. There's a lot of people that they're just not applying themselves, and they're gonna really struggle in this world because their AI is gonna come and take their jobs. Yeah. So. I suggest, I have this TLC approach that I call. I know it sounds corny, but I came up with it. T stands for training. You train your mind and your body. So you train your mind by reading 10 pages a day the training is meditation. Your mind is meditation. Sorry, it's been a second since I've said it. So meditate 10 minutes a day. You can use an app or go to YouTube. It's free. I used Waking Up. It's great. 10 minutes every day to train my mind. I also go to the gym for 1 hour a day to train my physical. Look good, do good, or look good, feel good, do good. And then the L, learn. Read 10 pages a day in a nonfiction book. And listen to a podcast, a couple podcasts a week. Listen to also podcasts and read books that are the antithesis of what you believe. Screw up that algorithm a little bit. I'm not a big Gretchen Whitmer fan, but I read her book.
I like that. So training your algorithm to balance.
Because if you always are told the same thing, you're going to think you're always right.
I like that.
So you surround yourself with different people and different things. So I read books of people that I may not agree with, and I learn something from them. And then I also listen to podcasts of people that I might not agree with as well. But I also listen to I listen to Ed Milet, Andy Frisella. I'm big on Chris Williamson right now, the Modern Wisdom podcast. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it. So T, train, learn. Third one, most important, coach and counseling. So it's really TLC squared. This model will cure you or help you in anything you do. So hire a coach. They're everywhere. Make sure that you're not hiring a coach to teach you what he makes money on. The coach has to have done what you did.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you don't hire an EOS integrator that hasn't had a successful business. You would never go and take relationship advice from somebody who's been divorced 3 times. You wouldn't take workout advice from somebody who's overweight. So Hire a coach that is specialized in the thing that you're trying to work with. The coach will hold you accountable, but go to counseling. It's really therapy. Go to therapy, but I can't say it had to be C. So counseling, and if you go to BetterHelp, I don't have no affiliation with them, but if you go to BetterHelp, you can do it right online and they take your insurance. So TLC, that's the simplest and easiest 3 things that I can give to everybody. And I'm going to tell that on every stage all across. I speak about it on my podcast. You just do those 3 simple things. Everybody can do it. And don't give me this, I walk 100 steps. Go to the gym. There's $10 gyms you can go to. Go and sweat, and you can download books. This doesn't cost a lot of money. There's nothing in there that costs a lot of money. And heck, there's still coaches that are trying to figure things out that'll coach you for free. The coach will hold you accountable. The therapy, the counselor will point out your blind spots. Do that TLC approach. I know it sounds funny coming from the love bear, but it's why I did it. The TLC. Give yourself some TLC, because I grew up in chaos. There was no TLC. I was so awkward about the word "I love you" because I never heard it. So it was like weird. It was weird. So
cool, man. Anything else you want to share?
This
has been great, by the way.
There's a couple of things that I'd say. There's a saying that Ram Dass says, love everybody and tell the truth. And I'm telling you, if we just told the truth hurts once, a lie hurts forever. Lying is for the weak. So love everybody, because love cures all, and tell the truth. Not your truth, the truth. Everybody has a version, and then you start believing your version of the truth, and that's not right. So, and be kind to each other. United we stand, divided we fall, together we rise. How we're going to come out of this crazy life situation of what's going on in the government, these wars, AI, is by looking in the mirror and becoming emotionally intelligent, emotionally fit, and helping each other. We're going to go, what do they say? You want to go faster, go alone. You want to go farther, go together. I got a news session. We got to figure this thing out together. The left has to start working with the right. We got to find common ground in everything. You can't just take your ball and go home and shut things down.
I think we have it too. I think there is common ground. It's just so divided at the same time. It's just wild, man.
It's really not as divided. Again,
there is a loud. There's like so much. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's a loud minority.
Yes.
And the funny thing about it is, go ask somebody who hates America. There's not many. Because why is everybody trying to get in here if they hate it?
I agree.
Every country wants to come here.
I agree.
Every one of them. So this is I've traveled all over. I just came back from Costa Rica.
I think it's the greatest country in the world. I mean,
by far. And what's cool about that is, if the founding fathers knew what we were doing right now, this is our 250th anniversary. And we have one of the biggest constitutions. We got to stop. We got to get rid of some of these old laws. And we got to stop with this interpretation thing. Well, this is what they want. Listen, man, I can guarantee you that nowhere in the Constitution did they want to have to tell a woman what she can do with her body. Nowhere in that Constitution did they would say that it's okay to protest and scream at police officers. Like, it's not okay. Treat people the way you want to be treated. But you know what? Follow the money, man. This is all about money.
Yep.
And that's what this is about. So we can come back. You think, what can I do? Speak up. Find somebody else. Have conversations with people, even the radical ones. Listen. I had a conversation with somebody on social media the other day. Like, you have a big platform. Why aren't you speaking up about this war? And I said, what do you think I should be saying? Because at the end of the day, I don't agree with anything that's going on. I don't agree with war. There's always a way out. Usually when there's war, it has to do with money. I don't. There's something odd about this Israel. I'm Jewish, but something is odd that Israel involved in all this stuff. Something's odd. Why is Epstein? I want to know. Release all the files. Why? What are they?
It's like a TV show. It is a TV show.
Really
it's literally it's like if you actually just wrote all this stuff out, like it made a movie. I mean, it's a movie. It's literally, we're living in a movie.
It feels like what does Andrew Tate call it?
Wild.
We're in the Matrix.
It's insane, dude.
It is. That's why we have to own our own minds.
100%.
Because there's somebody that we can have this conversation with that would get all fired up. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to hug it out and I'm going to go get dinner. And I won't think nothing about it because I'm emotionally fit. And I get it that, tomorrow it doesn't matter who the president is. Doesn't matter what war we're in. Doesn't matter what's going on. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to win. I don't need any handouts from anybody. I don't need you to act a certain way for me to act right. I'm just going to act right and I'm going to lead. Leaders lead. So I'll go first. I'll set the example. And that's what I'm doing right now with the Harder Than Life movement. We call our people the Harder Than Life Nation because we're going to lead. But it's hard. It's so much easier to grab a drink, grab some weed. Everybody's doing it. I mean, you didn't intend on starting that way, but it just happens. It's just how that snowball effect happens. The reverse is true right now. I'm so in line right now that even if I try to mess up, God makes it impossible.
Yeah, it would be very difficult for me to fuck up.
I could go, I'm going to have a drink right now. And then all of a sudden my car would get a flat.
Yeah.
And it's uncanny how I know I'm being guided by a higher power. And guys, if you do the work, if you do the TLC, that's the base of it all. You don't need these morning routines, these cold plunges, all this fasting and all. Dude, just do TLC and your life will be better. And then send me a message, Kelly@harderthanlife.com. And if you message me too, Beyond the Hustle, Kelly@harderthanlife.com, I'll send you both books electronically. So, but follow me on YouTube, please. Dude, this has been a blast. You're a great freaking guy. And if there's anything I can ever do, and by the way, let's do this little disclaimer. If you listen to this show and you think you're out of alignment with alcohol, message us. Message us. I have treatment centers that that are free all through Florida. I have a house in Florida. That's where the podcast is. We'll help. I have coached so many people. I just got a message from a guy that I coached from drinking and drugs, just got married. And he goes, I owe it all to you. And I said, no, you did the work. But he said, you helped me see that it had nothing to do. It's never about the drugs and alcohol. That's the symptom, not the disease. And if you even think you out of alignment, if you have to ask the question, you probably are. And all I do is, let's just take 90 days off of it and let's do TLC. And if you can only do one thing, do the training. Because when you go to the gym, you get those endorphins going. It's the best thing in the world, the best feeling. You feel like, and then it's the only thing in the world that you get to see. You get to see how you'll look if you keep doing it. Because you work out, you get a little pump, like, ooh, that would look good. And then that's a little foreshadowing. But you have an issue, even though everybody's doing it. If everybody's doing it, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Because remember the whole adage when we were kids? If everybody jumped off a bridge, would you? Hell no. So why are we taking cannabis and drinking and getting into fights with people that we don't even know? like I'm going to message somebody about because they misinterpreted them talking about the war or Trump or, and who cares about it?
Chill out, dude. Just chill.
Yeah, just relax and live your life. You know what people don't realize? We're all going to die. I had 2 people this week under 50 unexpectedly die. Terrible, dude. And it's like, dude, I just turned 50. You're 36, bro. Imagine if you have 14 years to live. How freaked out would you going to be? Would you be fighting over, someone being left wing, someone being right wing if you knew you were going to die tomorrow? Nope. It's just stupid. Dumb. TLC. Be Harder Than Life, baby.
Love it, dude. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Appreciate it.
This has been a blast.
Thank you.